Good afternoon. Thank you for all of you being here with us today. I am Emerly Martinez, the proud principal of White Plains High School. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the 21st White Plains High School Hall of Fame induction ceremony. We are delighted to be resuming the Hall of Fame Day after a COVID-caused hiatus, and like you, I am looking forward to meeting our new Hall of Fame members with great anticipation. Before we continue, I'd like to ask everyone to please turn off your cell phones or any electronic devices at this time. Okay. I am privileged to be starting my 5th year as the principal of White Plains High School, and it is indeed a very special place. And this was told to me before I even got here that White Plains was a special place. And I've lived it now for 5 years, and I can agree that it's a very special place, not only just here at White Plains High School, but our amazing community and the people that really provide this vibrant space for our students. The staff here at White Plains is caring, professional, and welcoming, and the students have a lively curiosity and desire to excel. There are many wonderful aspects of our high school, and the Hall of Fame Day ranks among the unique and special ones. It is not easy to create and sustain a Hall of Fame program. You need a dedicated core of volunteers, a supportive community and school administration, and of course, outstanding graduates. White Plains has all three. I'd like to acknowledge the presence this afternoon of many local leaders and supporters of our schools. Please hold your applause until the end, after everybody's been recognized. Mayor Tom Roach, State Senator Shelley Mayer, County Executive George Latimer, Assemblywoman Dana Levenberg, White Plains School Board member Ms. Jessica Buck, former school board members Mark Scharf and Larry Geiger, and of course we're joined by some of our central administration as well. Mr. Scott Pepper is with us, and we know Dr. Ricker will be here shortly as well. This afternoon, we will induct 4 new members, bringing the total of White Plains graduates into the Hall of Fame up to 90. That's 90 graduates in the Hall of Fame out of more than approximately 40,000 students who have graduated from White Plains High School since its 128th year history. So to be one of 90 Hall of Fame members out of many thousands of graduates is indeed a very rare and special honor. Over the years, our Hall of Fame members have distinguished themselves in a wide variety of fields: authors and artists, doctors and public servants, business leaders, educators, Pulitzer Prize winners, and Olympic champions. However, they all have one thing in common. They have benefited from the wisdom, patience, and advice and support of the dedicated and talented men and women who have worked or who are working as teachers, coaches, administrators, and staff here at White Plains High School. We're delighted that some Hall of Fame members are with us this afternoon, and I'd like to introduce them to you. Please stand when I call your name, and please hold your applause until all members have been introduced. Brian Wallach, and of course, Nick Wolf. Thank you for being with us, and congratulations on being part of a very special and very select group. It is now my pleasure to introduce Amy Geiger, a member of the class of 1964, the mother of 2 graduates and the sister of 2 graduates, and of course the co-chair of the Hall of Fame Steering Committee since its inception. Amy, I don't know what I'd do without you. Come on up.
Thank you, Emerly, and everybody. Good afternoon. It's really great to be back here at a Hall of Fame Day. Shorter than I thought. It's great to see so many people here, including very many old friends. Thank you all for coming. Since the inception of the Hall of Fame in 1996, the goals and objectives have remained the same. But gee, has the technology changed. I would like to welcome those who are watching the ceremony as it is live streamed on the school district website, if luck is with us today. And also anyone anywhere will soon be able to watch and enjoy today's ceremony on the school district's YouTube channel, like forever. Before we proceed, I'd like to speak a minute about the purpose of the Hall of Fame. It was created to honor outstanding graduates of White Plains High School who have distinguished themselves in their chosen careers or have significantly impacted the lives of others. As you will see, the 4 inductees in this year's class clearly meet these criteria. There's a list of all Hall of Fame members in your program, and you can find full biographies of Hall of Fame members on the school district website at whiteplainschools.org. I think you'll be impressed by their accomplishments and proud of their contributions to society. The quality of our Hall of Fame inductees and really the success of the Hall of Fame itself depends on you and other members of the White Plains community. That's because to be considered for induction, graduates must be nominated. And although every graduate of the high school is eligible, only graduates formally nominated are considered by the selection committee. And everyone nominated remains in the nominee pool and is considered each and every year. So please, pick up one of these yellow nomination forms and nominate any graduate you think is worthy of consideration. Hall of Fame Day has always been special for many reasons, and one is that it provides a rare opportunity for our graduates to interact in substantial and meaningful ways with our current students, and for our students to be face-to-face with accomplished adults who once sat in their seats and walked in the very same halls. Very special indeed. Earlier this afternoon, our inductees met with students in economics, English, government, and journalism classes, and with the student government officers to share their expertise and experience. From what I understand, both the students and the inductees benefited from their time together. This face-to-face component is not often found in other halls of fame, programs that this makes our program, our day, truly unique and special. We've invited 2 of our students' leaders to provide the student perspective on the Hall of Fame. They are both very busy members of the senior class, the class of 2025. Rahama Florico is co-president of the student government this year and finds time, among other activities, to volunteer weekly in the school sport training rooms and is planning a career in nursing. Asa Hamlin is the other co-president of the student government, and among his school activities, plays varsity basketball, plays percussion in school bands, and after serving as president of the local youth and government program, he hopes someday to work for the Federal Reserve setting monetary policy. Of course. So it sounds like, actually, we're about to meet 2 future Hall of Famers. So ladies and gentlemen, I present Rahama Florico and Asa Hamlin.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Asa Hamlin, and I'm one of the co-presidents of White Plains High School.
I'm Rahama Florica, and I'm also the co-president. Together, we will share the privilege and responsibility of representing our wonderful student body.
We are honored to be here today, standing before such a distinguished group of White Plains High School alumni who have made their mark on the world.
Our school has a long legacy of excellence, and tonight we celebrate 4 incredible individuals who exemplify what it means to carry the spirit of White Plains High School with you wherever you go.
You, our Hall of Fame inductees, walked these same halls. You were once in our shoes, wondering what your future might hold, figuring out what you wanted to become, But you didn't just figure it out. You took what you learned here and became leaders in your respective sectors.
From serving in public office like Sandra Galiff to leading in corporate world like Sean Bryant, from producing award-winning Broadway shows like Larry Rogowski to shaping national conversations through journalism like Mara Gay, you've provided each and every one of us with a role model, an inspiration, and a testament to the power that this institution holds.
It's important for students to see that the values and experiences we're gaining here really do prepare us for the world beyond these walls. We often hear that from our teachers and mentors about the importance of hard work, leadership, and giving back to our community. Today, we see what those lessons look like in real life. You've shown us what we do here right now really matters, that we have the potential to make a lasting impact, just like you have.
As we look into the future, we're eager to follow in your footsteps and carry on the very same legacy you carried on, one of excellence, service, and a deep, unwavering commitment to the school and the community it serves.
On behalf of the entire student body, we want to congratulate you, our esteemed Hall of Fame inductees, for your remarkable achievements and for setting the bar high, inspiring us to push the boundaries. Thank you.
I thank you both for so eloquently sharing your perspectives on the Hall of Fame. As we prepare to induct our members, it's especially good to see school and city officials here, because in many ways, as we know, the Hall of Fame is a tribute not only to our school and the whole system that educated our inductees, but to the entire White Plains community that raised them. In many ways, the White Plains High School Hall of Fame is a celebration of our city at its best. It recognizes men and women from all parts of White Plains who were nurtured, encouraged, and inspired by their families, their neighbors, and their teachers. With our gratitude and congratulations, each of today's inductees will take home a plaque from White Plains High School commemorating today's induction, citations and proclamations from our local elected officials, from County Executive George Latimer, County Legislator Ben Boykin, State Senator Shelley Mayer, and Assembly Members Chris Burdick and Amy Paulin, in addition to Mayor Tom Roach. Plus, a bag of White Plains High School souvenirs like this. Lucky you. Now for the inductions. You'll find a biography of each of today's inductees in the program you have received this afternoon. And our first inductee, Sandra Galiff, will be presented by Betty Slutsky, a classmate of Sandy's in the class of 1958 and a lifelong friend. Both will applaud. Both Sandy and Betty went on to be teachers, and they have both lived in Ossining for decades. Notably, Betty was Sandy's campaign manager for each of her 20 or so election campaigns, and working together, they never lost. Way to go. So Betty, it's your turn now.
First of all, Amy, thank you very much for the lovely introduction, but some of us walked the halls of the old White Plains High School. Many years ago, when Sandy and I first met, we were both students at White Plains High School. She was the secretary of the senior class, and I was the fundraising chairperson. My first glimpse of the person Sandy was to become was at the end of our senior year. Way before texting, YouTubing, FaceTiming, Sandy wrote letters. She thanked all of the board members of our class for their time and helped in making our senior year so successful. Nobody else would have done that. Steve Galiff was also in our class. He ran for and won a seat at the County Board of Legislators. A few years after he retired, Sandy decided that maybe she would run for that seat. She asked me if I would be her campaign chairperson, and thus began many, many, many years of our close working relationship. Our kids were also involved. Craig and Gwen can testify to all the parades that we had them giving out flyers and balloons, not to embarrass Craig at all, but one year he had had enough. And so when we were ready to leave, he claimed he could not come because he could not find his shoes. Unfortunately, Steve passed away in 1998. Gwen and Greg, now all grown up, like both Sandy and Steve had, knew just what to do. Steve had been very involved with the Westchester Medical Center and was instrumental in the creation of the Children's Hospital. Together, they raised over $2 million, and the lobby of the hospital is now proudly named in Steve's honor. What a nice tribute to a wonderful man. Sandy is pretty wonderful, too. We can honestly say that we, the people of the village of Ossining, the county of Westchester, and the state of New York, will always be thankful for all that Sandy has accomplished in her 40-plus years for all of us. How lucky we are to know that Sandy Galiff has had our back. It is now my great pleasure to introduce Sandy Galiff.
I know this wire isn't great. This is really very exciting. So one of the students asked us all today, did you ever think about, or maybe it was in the class that I was in, did you ever think about the fact that you might be in the White Plains High School Hall of Fame? I said, first of all, I don't even think they had Hall of Fame and when we were graduating in 1958. But, and Wendy's here too from our class. And, you know, I never would have thought of it. Actually, I mean, there were other questions. It was a wonderful, wonderful day. There were questions from some of the students about what you thought you wanted to be when you were here at the high school. So I had to think about, you know, I mentioned to them that I was thinking about airline stewardess because they must have had, you know, a section here with wanting to get women into the airline industry. But I said I really wanted to be a decorator of windows in New York City, like Bloomingdale's and Macy's. I wanted to decorate. That's why I went to college, to learn how to decorate. But then I actually went to work at Mohawk Day Camp in Greenberg, and I decided I really like kids. And so then I switched my career, which I was trying to tell them you can switch your careers all the time. Doesn't seem like it, but anyway. And, you know, I became a teacher, and I taught for about 5 years. And then I had my wonderful children. I have Greg here and Gwen. And they didn't really want me in the schools at that point because I was pregnant and a woman with children. It's such a different world, isn't it? It's really great. So, but I had to, you know, and then I told them that I got into government because I took a career development course that actually said government, and I hadn't even thought about it. Tom, I don't know whether you have ever taken a career development course, Tom Roach. Or George behind. But anyway, it reminded me that I was secretary of the class here. And it reminded me that I was also secretary at Purdue University from my class there for 4 years. So it just, you know, it all worked itself through. And, you know, 43 years later, I have absolutely adored being in government, either at the county level or the state level. It's a place that you can accomplish so much. And it's unfortunate that not a lot of people raise their hand and say they want to get into this. But it is a place where you can, and I have a lot of people from my office that are here that work with me all those years, and our local officials that are in the legislative business. And but what we do is we help people on an individual basis with their problems, and we can make a lot of a difference for individuals. But we also legislatively, when we're voting on bills and concepts, we can change people's lives. And so it is a wonderful, wonderful career. And as Betty mentioned, my husband was in it. We really got the bug here at White Plains High School. And I don't know that the teachers led us into that. I don't think they did, but the activities after school kind of led us into this profession that we had. And, we both really enjoyed being in government. And I would just like to conclude with, we have elections coming up, in case you didn't know. I think you do. It's so important to go out and vote and think about the people that you're voting for. And if they are good, competent people that have many of the positions that you support, maybe not all, but majority of positions that you support, and that you go out and place your vote for one or another. It is just so important. And if people didn't vote for us, we wouldn't be there. I wouldn't be getting this award because I wouldn't have been in government. This is just a wonderful opportunity, and I just thank you all so very much. Thank you. Yeah, yes. And there was also a Vic Galiff here. Victor Galiff. We had all the Galiffs were at White Plains High School.
White Plains High School is a family affair. Many of us here can attest to that. I'd like to also recognize that there is another Hall of Fame member here. Verdell Hilliard is here. I had not seen her before. There she is, Verdell. And we have another Board of Education member, Cheryl Brady, is here too. So thank you very much. Our next inductee is Sean Bryant, and he will be presented by a gentleman who is himself living a Hall of Fame life, Dr. James Cash, the James E. Robeson Professor of Business Administration Emeritus at Harvard Business School, has been hailed as a trailblazer, a humanitarian, a philanthropist, and a business leader. He has served on the boards of directors of many Fortune 100 companies, including General Electric, Microsoft, and Walmart, and many nonprofit organizations too. And at Harvard, they've named a building after him. This afternoon, though, he is here as Sean's longtime mentor and friend, Dr. Cash.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I don't think I'm going to need a microphone, do you? I am so honored to be here. Thank you, Amy. And I just appreciate. Use the mic, I heard. Okay. All right. I follow instructions well. I am just so honored to be here to help honor a very special human being, Sean Bryant. I'm happy that you have his bio in your handout, your booklet there, your program, so I don't have to talk about all of his business accomplishments. You can read about them, because I'd really like to talk about some of the amazing responses I got when I asked people who know Sean as a result of the person and the human being that he is. If I went through all of the responses, it would probably take about 4 hours. And it would be embarrassing for me if you had to see Amy come up and pull me off the stage here. So I'm going to try and avoid that, Amy, and stay within my 4-minute limit here. So I'm going to share with you comments from people to really try and convey. But I have to start with something I heard from his brother Wayne, who is also a graduate of the school here. I asked for kind of things that people might like to know about Sean that they wouldn't see in the program. And he talked about the fact that part of his development here at White Plains High School was his opportunity to serve as class president. And he was known as Prez, was his nickname. He was also known as Reagan. He supposedly, again, according to Wayne, I didn't verify this, so Sean, if this is inaccurate, it's not me. Wayne says that Sean flexed his thespian muscles here at White Plains High School. He tried out and got one of the lead roles in his junior year for the play Our Town. Sean played the role of the narrator for the high school production, which caused me to then go and see if I could find anywhere else in his life he had actually been acting on stage. And Wayne verified that as far as we know, that's the only gig he ever got in that domain. One of the people I contacted to ask about Sean is Adam Silver. Adam Silver is the current commissioner of the National Basketball Association. And I asked Adam, what would you want people to know about Sean? Direct quote from Adam. Sean is a remarkable relationship builder. It's one of the many reasons why he's been successful in his career, and he's been tapped to lead a variety of different businesses across the sports, media, and entertainment industries. He's soft-spoken, but commands so much respect because of the way he treats people. I then asked, is there a specific story you would tell about Sean? And he talked about when Sean worked in the NBA league office, he helped create what is now known as our Entertainment and Player Marketing Group. He saw an opportunity for the league to elevate the way he marketed, elevate the way the league marketed and promoted their players, and open up new business prospects for them as well. Today, because of Sean's pioneering efforts, our Entertainment and Player Marketing Group is engaging with hundreds of current and former NBA players, helping them build their brands on and off the court. I could just go through so many other comments, but again, because I don't want Amy to have to throw me off the stage, I want to share with you comments I got from his kids. Because as a father myself, and many of you are probably in this role, there's nothing better, and people know you best that are probably in that relationship with you. His kids who are here, I won't embarrass them and ask them to stand up, but they are here. And Sean doesn't know, but I've secretly adopted all of them from him. So he's no longer responsible for them. But listen to these quotes from his kids. Every morning starts off with a good morning and I love you. And before we go to sleep, he always hugs us and tells us good night. Every day always starts and ends with him telling me and my siblings how much he loves us. My dad always has a positive outlook on life and taught me the importance of staying positive even through difficult times. My dad has always believed in me and my siblings and supported us. He inspires not only me, but our whole family. It is truly remarkable how many obstacles he has overcome to become the person he is today. No matter what obstacles he faced, he always overcame them and finished on top. He loves his family and his friends. Not only that, but he is a genuinely kind and good person. Growing up, I have always seen him treat complete strangers with kindness and respect. He treats everyone with respect regardless of their background. That's one of the qualities I admire most in my dad. And what I'd like to close with is, again, the quote that most struck me. My dad is the most loving father I could ever ask for. Overall, I could not think of a person more deserving to be in the White Plains High School Hall of Fame. White Plains High School, I want to present a person you developed that has made this world a better place, Sean Bryant.
I'll stick to the printed word here, and I'll try and be brief because I know we have a limited amount of time. So I'll say good evening to everybody and to all the members of the Hall of Fame, faculty, fellow inductees, friends, and family. It's a profound honor to stand here tonight celebrating the legacy and achievements of not just myself, but this remarkable community known as White Plains High School. I'm filled with gratitude and nostalgia as I think about the last time I was here speaking on a stage was actually 1982, is commencement for our senior graduating class. So I'm amazed that I got invited back again. As I sat down to write this speech, I realized it would be impossible to capture my journey over the last 42 years without putting everyone to sleep in the process, especially my children. I also realized that asking Dr. Cash to present me could be either the smartest thing in the world on one hand, because of who he is, but it could also be the dumbest thing I could possibly do. Because I knew that, he would say great things about me and make me sound even better than I really am, and make me look better than I could ever hope to be. And coming from a man with a building named after him at Harvard and a statue at TCU, you'd have no choice but to believe him. So, that being said, I also realized that coming after him on stage is also one of the most challenging things anyone could ever do. It's kind of like following Obi-Wan Kenobi at a motivational speech at a conference, It's like, good luck with that one. So I decided to spend the time that I have here just saying thank you. Thank you to my family, and thank you to the folks that are part of my journey. To reflect on my time at White Plains High School, I think, simply put, that it shaped me to be the person I am right now. I want to start with extending my heartfelt thanks to Dr. Cash, whose guidance and mentorship has been invaluable. No one has had a greater impact on my life since graduating from White Plains. You and Mrs. Cash are my second set of parents. There's no doubt about that. You said you adopted the kids. You already have been adopted by us. We just showed up. So that's really important. You're also the most accomplished person here that I've ever met in my life. And the thing to me that epitomizes you is it always starts with the phrase, how can I be helpful? You heard about all the things that he's done, but Dr. Cash always starts with that. It's what you say to the largest firms in the world as a director and an advisor. It's what you say every day to your family and loved ones, and it's how you treat everyone, no matter their station in life. It's like I can't tell you how much it touched me to hear words similar to that echoed when people describe me, because I really have tried to fashion myself after you. I owe you a debt that Wayne, my brother Wayne, myself, and my children owe to you that we can never be repaid. We love you, Mrs. Cash, Tari, and aspire to be like you. Next, I want to take a minute to honor my mom, whose unwavering support has been a constant in my life. Our Ma is the very definition of consistency. 33 years as an X-ray technologist here in White Plains. And so some of you may have had your X-rays taken by my mom or something, or blood, but she's been here and raising my brother Wayne and I. And literally, as I wrote this, I could not think of a day that she took off from work. Entire. I could not think of a day. I'm looking here at my friend Nick Wolf, and who was very instrumental to me in my journey here. It's fitting that Mara is here being honored today as well, because I picked up a line during my time here at the high school, and it said, try and live your life like your mom is reading about it on the front page of the New York Times. And I've tried to follow that, and Ma, I hope you've enjoyed the read. I have to recognize my dad, proud graduate of the high school. He's no longer with us, but I like to believe that his kindness and patience live on through both of his sons, especially my brother. While his passion for cars probably is more reflected in my garage. You know, I'm also really amazed by his and my mom's ability to take their meager resources and resources we had and leverage them into buying, you know, our home in Rosedale, making us one of the few black families there in the 1980s. So that really means a lot to me. This part, you know, really leads me to my brother, Wayne Bryant, you know, from the White Plains High School class of 1983. I'm going to read it because I don't want to mess it up. If there's a picture that should go up in the Hall of Fame, it should be the two of us, because every step of this journey has been with my younger brother. There's not a memory of the high school or any points after that he's not been a part of. From us chasing the bus, having missed it in the mornings, to that mysterious victory party that was, you know, mysteriously thrust upon us. And I tell you, Mom, we did not plan that. Basically, he traveled to Boston and graduated from Northeastern and became a technologist before it was cool. And for the better part of the last 2 decades, we've been business partners in one way or another. First Game Face Ventures, then DDB. He's also the youngest-looking grandfather on the planet. You can ask his daughter Patricia or his grandson Mason. To my children, they're 18. Alexander, Ava, and Adriana, you are literally my greatest achievements. Honestly, there's nothing in life that makes me feel more Hall of Fame worthy than the three of you. So thank you for being who you are. Alexander, you've shown such resilience as a scholar athlete. And, you know, you shared this with me the other day, and I'm going to wrap up. He literally memorized Chaucer overnight. Like, literally, you know, and that's with him being, I don't know if you saw him when you walked in, he's 6'7", and he's playing basketball now. In just one night, while also being like a MVP here at the county center for a big tournament. Can't wait to see where your talents take you. Adriana, your artistry is simply amazing. You know, it's incredible to me, and again, my kids are way better than me, and I guess these are all of our hopes. You know, she, before even hitting high school, had art displayed, and it's in a permanent collection at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, I mean, which is amazing to me. Ava, you're not only the top shot blocker in New York, which everyone on the internet is saying right now, you also amazing are holding college scholarship offers, just hitting your junior year. So I'm really inspired by your determination and stick with it. You all make me proud every day, and I'm grateful for you. I literally say a prayer of thanks every day for you. You know, as far as basketball goes, all I ask, and that your mom asks, is you be good enough to save us a few dollars in college. That's it. You know, I see, you know, other friends and family here. My Aunt May is here, my godmother. You know, I really appreciate you all being here. I'm just going to wrap it up and just say that, you know, I really appreciate this honor. You know, for me, the most important thing that ever happened to me here at the high school was being elected senior class president. I see some of my classmates around. You know, Brian Reed, who works here, was you know, excited and called me. I was excited to hear his voice. He's here. And really, the best thing about being elected to the class presidency here for my 544 diverse fellow colleagues was that they chose me to be their face and voice. And that's something that carried me forward. It really made me confident enough to go to Harvard Business School. And it's something that it's really it's impacted and led my style of management ever since. So I just want to say thank you to the high school. Thank you to everybody here. I'm sorry I was a little bit long-winded, you know, but remember, at Harvard Business School, 50% of our grade is based on talking. So that's all I'm going to say. Thank you very much.
Everyone speaks to family here at White Plains High School. It's just lovely. Our next inductee, Larry Rogowski, will be presented by one of our own, a White Plains High School graduate and White Plains High School teacher, Marlena Simmons. Marlena teaches English Honors, Foundations of Elementary Education, and Presentational Public Speaking Honors. She also coaches the JV tennis team and is an advisor to the National Honor Society, to the class of 2025, and to The Orange, the student newspaper. 3 years ago, Marlena invited Mr. Rogowski to meet with theater classes and the Theater Unlimited Club here at the high school. I hear it was a big success. Marlena Simmons.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here today. There was a time not that long ago, actually my students will say it's the 1900s, which was not that long ago, when I thought I would be a famous music promoter. In middle school, my brother Mike and his friends had started a band. They called it Devious, which was pretty appropriate at the time. And after some serious begging, they begrudgingly allowed me to be their manager. Now, at the time, I knew nothing about music management, but I wanted to piggyback on the fame and fortune that was sure to come with this group. Now, why did I think they would be famous? Well, their frontman and lead singer was their multi-talented friend Larry Rogowski, who my mother, on many occasions, said, he's going to be so famous someday. One day he's going to be so famous, and my brother would be like, what about me? But anyone who knew Larry from a very early age could tell that he would be a star one day. He had good looks, brains, talent. He acted, he sang, he danced. He had the flowing locks of an 80s rock icon and the wardrobe to match. He was definitely going to be a star someday, and we all wanted to attach ourselves in some way to that star. What we didn't fully realize was exactly how multi-talented Larry was and still is. That became apparent to me as I and many others follow Larry on social media as he started a family, published a book, and won not one, not two, not three, but 5 Tony Awards for his work on Broadway. Did you bring one with you? You didn't bring one. Okay, thanks. I just wanted to touch it. Some folks may have been surprised by his success, but never those who knew him when. Now, as a teacher, I'm always seeking to enrich the education of my students, and one of the ways I do that is by leveraging my connections. As we returned back to school following a global pandemic, we were trying to get kids invested in coming back into the building to bring some normalcy back to everyone's lives and get kids excited about learning again. So I reached out to Larry and asked him to come in and speak to our theater students, and he did. He came in, he spoke with the students, he answered their questions, and he graciously posed for pictures. The kids were so excited to have a Broadway star in their midst. Larry's last words to me that day were, hey, we're doing The Outsiders. You have to bring your kids to see it. Now, for those of you who do not know or do not remember, reading the S.C. Hinton book, The Outsiders, in English class is a rite of passage for White Plains students. For some reason, all my 9th graders come to me in September from 8th grade claiming to have forgotten everything that they learned in middle school. Everything except for The Outsiders. In fact, I challenge you to find a student in any grade here that cannot recall plot points, character motivation, conflict, setting, or any other detail, significant or insignificant, about the Greasers and the Socias. It's actually crazy. Anyway, Larry reached out to me when the show was poised to hit Broadway. I immediately asked my department coordinator to help me make this experience happen for our students. We reached out to the Friends of White Plains, who generously provided us with grant money to help make this happen. And during the first week of the show, we were able to take our kids to see The Outsiders. I am so grateful that we were able to join forces with Larry, his partner Sue, and the Friends of White Plains to bring this incredible experience to our students. If you haven't seen it yet, you need to. Shameless plug for you. I can't help but think that some of Larry's success stems from what he learned right here in White Plains High School. Our fine arts department is second to none, and it has and will continue to produce artists who are talented, who are distinguished in their fields, and most importantly, who give back to our school community. So even though Larry never did make it big with Devious, and he certainly didn't do anything to help launch my career as a music promoter, I am eternally grateful to him for bringing his knowledge, experience, and art to our students. Ladies and gentlemen, Larry Rogowski.
Wow, thanks, Marlena. Hi, everybody. That was really nice. What I remember most about high school,
the hair. I mean, seriously, it's not fair. It's just not fair. I did have flowing locks of hair. There's a yearbook over there to prove it if you want to take a peek. It's all in there. I'm so honored to be here today. When Marlena asked me to come to speak to the class a few years ago, I kind of jumped at the chance. I was like, yeah, I would love to come in. What I didn't realize is that I'd be walking into like a theater. Like, we didn't really have a theater. We had the auditorium, of course. We didn't have a theater space. And I thought that was amazing to see how that's happened over the years, because, you know, for these kids to experience that that sort of education that goes beyond the classroom is so valuable. You know, what they get to learn is yeah, you get to do a play, but it's all the things that you learn along the way, like self-confidence and finding your tribe, especially if you're not like a kid like me that I wasn't really into sports. It's like, where do I find my people? And that was in the theater. And you know, I learned that here at White Plains High. I was in a bunch of the shows here, and I really kind of did it because I didn't know what else to do, right? Otherwise, I would have hung out with all the other metalheads with the long hair, which was me with the jean jacket and the leather jacket, like doing things I shouldn't have been doing. So it's a good thing I found the theater to give me something to really put my focus into, and something that I was good at. So I'm eternally grateful to this school for providing me that sort of launching pad. But it's funny, when I was in school, you know, I started as an actor, because that's what you know. Like, you see the actors on stage, and that's what, you know, what you think, well, that's what I'll do. So I went to college for that. And honestly, guys, I was really like a C student. So students, any C students in the room? Fear not, you can win a Tony Award. But what I didn't realize, I knew nothing about being a producer, it's so crazy how life takes you in different directions, right? I thought I would be a famous actor, maybe, or a famous singer in Devious, the rock band. We should maybe like reunite or something. Get the band back together. Maybe you can get your, you know, management head on, and we can, you know, make a go of it. But I went on, you know, to be an actor for many years, and but that eventually led me to becoming a producer, which is something I never thought of, but it really utilizes my skill set. And the reason I say that is because, you know, it takes me back to the things that I learned from doing theater here in high school, from being Seymour in Little Shop of Horrors, that I was able to parlay into like doing business deals and like sitting down with creatives and, you know, learning about their project and, you know, thinking, is this something that I should take on? You know, what are the good ideas here? Why do this show now? You know, does anybody else care about it? Is this get me in my gut? Is this something I want to do? And I learned that all from doing theater. And I think it's a little cuckoo crazy. I was looking back through the booklet there of all the inductees that have come into this over the years. And the one name that just, it got me, is Jonathan Larson. You all know who he is, right? He wrote Rent. I mean, come on. And of course, his ending was tragic. But to think that I'm in the same club as Jonathan Larson now is like pretty freaking cool, I have to say. It really is. It's magic. And also, I just want to say on the note of family, because I have some family here today. My husband Drew is here, and my sister-in-law Gina is here, and some friends, old family friends are here. But my mom is here. And I swear, you guys, I mean, I've won some Tony Awards, right? But like, this is the award she was the most excited about. Seriously. So nice. Like, there's a lot of power in that, right? And I just have to say, you know, unfortunately, my dad passed this year, and I miss him like crazy. Especially when Sean was talking about being a dad and your kids and all this stuff. Like, it just goes like so quickly. I really mostly wish he was here so he could see that the Mets are finally doing really well. So let's, Sandy talked about voting, which is important, guys. Please vote. Like, vote for who you want to get in office. But like, let's all put our collective energy together for my dad so that the Mets can make it to the World Series this year. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here.
Congratulations. Amen. I heard only half the room applaud for the Mets. Go Yankees.
Oh, yeah, It's very difficult in my house.
I would imagine. Oh, really? Okay, we'll have to talk about it. Our final inductee this afternoon, Mara Gay, will be presented by another White Plains High School teacher, Jonathan Joseph. Jonathan has deep roots in the high school. His grandmother graduated in 1936, his mom in with me in 1964. He's the class of 1996, and his son and daughter will be graduates in the 2030s. Got that right? So it was no surprise that Jonathan wanted to pursue his teaching career here. And in his first year of teaching social studies, he also was appointed advisor to the Orange. It happened that a young lady named Mara Gay was editor-in-chief of the paper that year, and they formed a close bond and have kept in touch ever since. Jonathan Joseph.
That good right there? Okay. Thank you, Amy. Congratulations to all the inductees. It's incredible to be part of this. You know, when you have been a part of this community as long as I have, and when your family reaches as far back as mine does, and when you spend all day in this building with your wife, who's also a social studies teacher, and then you decide that one day your kids are going to join you here, you spend a lot of time thinking about, you know, what White Plains is and what it means. And I think about what makes it all special. Like, there's this intangible thing that we all know and we all allude to, but it's always really hard to put into words. And I think about what we want for young people in our community, about what we want them to become. I think about how we want them to be fluent in the real world, to be open to diverse perspectives, to be willing to tackle complex problems and advocate for those who don't have a voice. I think about wanting them to enter the world with an optimistic and hopeful lens. It's exactly who Mara is, right? It's exactly the work that she does, and if you ask her, it's a big part of why she does that work, and it's why she is today. You know, we have problems in the world, and not everybody's going to look at those problems the same way. They're not going to offer the same solutions, and for democracy to work, there have to be as many voices at the table as possible. It's why journalism is important. It's why its importance is enshrined in the Bill of Rights. And again, Mara would tell you that it is a huge part of why she does what she does. She might also tell you that she is incredibly nosy. She would also tell you that her experiences here were invaluable in teaching her those lessons. Her White Plains education informs her work and success and her search for solutions. It's beautiful, right? Journalism as a public service, inspired by public servants. I mean, here's a person who has devoted her life to curiosity, to learning, who devotes her life to serving our democracy and our community. She wakes up every day and looks for those whose voices go unheard so that she may amplify them. She finds stories who need telling the most, and she tells them in a way that allow others to see the world more hopefully and more optimistically. Here's the story that changed my life. Mara went to South Africa in her early 20s. She had family there, an aunt maybe. Sorry if I get the details wrong here. You're a way better reporter than me. So she goes to South Africa, and she ends up at dinner with Ahmed Cathadra, or Kathy, as he is known. That name is probably unfamiliar to all of you, but Kathy was one of the men arrested in Rivonia with Nelson Mandela. They served 18 years together in prison on Robben Island off the coast of Cape Town. Mara comes back from this trip, calls me up and says, I have to show you these pictures I took on the trip. She brings over this photo album. This is a long time ago. She shows me the pictures that she took. There's this one picture. It's a picture of a black man dancing with a white woman. The woman's daughter, Amy, had moved from California to help in the fight against apartheid in the late 80s.
She was killed when a fired-up crowd leaving an anti-apartheid rally encountered her on the streets of their township. After her death, her parents moved to South Africa to continue their work. When the African National Congress came to power in South Africa, they established what was called the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. Amy's parents went before that commission and advocated for the release of the men that killed her daughter. One of those men went to work at the Amy Beale Foundation alongside Amy's mom. The picture Mara took was of the two of them dancing at an anniversary dinner a decade later. Kathy, no question, told Mara incredible stories as well. I think he even walked her around the prison that he served the time at on Robben Island. Yet the first story she came home to me with was this incredible journey of these small people in history. An American family working alongside a man from whom apartheid took more than I can even imagine, all of them together with love, trying to take all that they had lost and use it to fight for a better world. In the years that I teach U.S. history, I tell that story every single time we get to Reconstruction and are forced to confront issues of pain, justice, and forgiveness in our own history. I show the picture of the two of them dancing. A decade after she told me that story, my wife and I went to South Africa to the monument in the township where she was killed and considered what it means to be the best version of ourselves as humans and what it means to have the opportunity to inspire young people in our classroom to do the same. That's the power and the impact of the storyteller you see here before you. That's the power of the words that she puts on a page every single day in the New York Times. She was always doing that, by the way. The voices she chose to amplify when she was in high school in the pages of the Orange were the ones that spoke about underrepresentation in advanced classes. They were the ones that spoke about self-segregation in the cafeteria. And for as much as her words brought to light an issue, it was always so whatever solutions were discovered would be more representative of the diverse perspectives that shared our community, especially those that were least likely to be heard. The Hall of Fame is here so that we can recognize our alumni and who have accomplished great things in their lives. As I've thought about Mara in recent weeks, what I can't get over is the degree to which her success encompasses the exact thing that we hope to pass on to our kids. She is a living embodiment of this place, of its values, of its mission, of its dreams, and she uses it all to fight for and enrich our democracy, to help heal and move towards a brighter day. I don't know the exact word to encapsulate it, but it feels like magic. Mara, I don't know if you remember this, but the entire reason I was the Orange advisor was because you and Kim came to my classroom at the end of my first year teaching to ask me. I was a 24-year-old kid. I didn't know anything. I don't even know how much we had spoken prior to that day. In fact, outside of you asking, I don't know that I remember even being involved in a conversation with you or that I certainly wouldn't have been the advisor to the Orange. So how all this happened seems like a mystery to me. That someone with your gift with a pen would think that I, of all people, on an occasion like this, would have any words that you feel could represent you, your accomplishments, the complexities of your journey, or the measure of the person that you are, is staggering to me. It is humbling, and I'm beyond grateful that you sought me out all those years ago to even be a small part of your story. Thank you for your trust, your friendship all these years, and congratulations on your induction to the White Plains High School Hall of Fame. You deserve this so much.
Thanks so much for forcing me to follow after that. No, thank you. I'm like really moved. The truth is that even though, can you guys hear me okay? Is it okay? Even though I am a journalist and I do a lot of television, I'm actually much more comfortable asking the questions than I am up here at a podium. I guess the first thought I had when listening to all of these incredible stories about the people who I'm being inducted with, and I'm really like humbled, truly, to be included in this group, is that, especially listening to the comments about Sean, I'm really glad that John didn't go out and talk to politicians from New York about me to get comments. So that was my first thought. Thank you for abstaining. I'm sure it was difficult. But of course, this is such a special day, and you can tell that John Joseph and I are like-minded about, he's a social studies teacher. The work that I do is so deeply informed by that and that experience I had in these classrooms here in White Plains. Actually, another history teacher I had is here, Susan Altman. Raise your hand, Susan. Yeah. I don't mean to be a downer, but I'm here back in New York for a couple of weeks off the campaign trail where I've been talking to voters across the country, and I don't have a lot of time on my hands to do some reading, but I have been reading, just finished this book called Sundown Towns by James Lowen, and it's a really remarkable book. And it's essentially about the history of all white towns in America. And that's a suburban and rural story, not really a urban story, so to speak. And at the end of the book, what was so striking is the author talks about what we can do to kind of integrate America, to move past this history, and to strengthen our democracy. And one of the things he said, one of the remedies that was so striking to me, was when your friends come to you and you live in a city or you live in an integrated suburb and they say, we're moving to Darien, we're moving to Scarsdale. Well, there's nothing really wrong with that. But what if instead of responding, oh, did you get a raise? Did you get a promotion? What if we said, aren't you worried about raising your kids in a place where everybody is the same? Aren't you concerned that they won't be able to navigate the world? That they won't know enough about themselves? That they won't be challenged? That everybody thinks the same way? And so the truth is, actually, I'm not from White Plains originally. I am from Brooklyn. And when I was almost, Brooklyn house, when I was almost 10 years old, my parents, my mom is here. Hi, Mom. My parents, Pat and Alvin, decided it was time to leave the city, and they wanted me to go to a good school, just like all of you who have kids think about this. And we didn't move to Darien or Scarsdale or anything like that, and I'm so grateful that we moved here instead. And I just want to talk just really briefly about what I found when we did move here, which was a city and a suburb and a school district that had almost every meaningful advantage that you could want, all the advanced placement classes, parks, safe schools, great teachers, but also all the things that make the difference outside the classroom. I went to school with children of immigrants, with immigrants themselves, including my friend Krista, who's here today. She's originally from Guatemala. I went to school with Catholic kids and Jewish kids and the grandchildren of Holocaust survivors. I went to school with Black kids and conservative kids and kids who really needed free breakfast and lunch, and also kids who were the nephew of senators. And in fact, my friend Morgan, Sarah, and Molly's mom is here, Mama Kay, Mama Kellogg's back there, hi Amy. So I'm just so grateful for that and for the experience that we had talking about that in the classroom, especially in the social studies department here, which is, I feel like they're the unsung heroes of this school district, frankly. And I've been thinking a lot about this lately because, when you start to work with the New York Times and when you are interviewing all kinds of powerful people, you start to be in a lot of rooms where people all kind of went to the same schools and they all kind of come from the same places in the same towns. And the question that I get a lot is, oh, well, where did you go to school? And it's always, did you go to a private school? And they start naming private schools. Did you grow up, again, in Scarsdale, in Katona? Did you go to boarding school? When they find out I actually am from White Plains, they said, but you go to private school, right? And, I used to be offended by this question, and the truth is now I relish it. because what I've found is that what is happening here in this city, in this place, is extremely special, and it's something to be extraordinarily proud of, especially in a moment where the things that we learn and teach and live here in White Plains, which is how to live and get along with and learn with others who aren't like us, sometimes imperfectly, sometimes awkwardly, sometimes with a lot of joy. Those are things that the country and the world need more than ever. So really, I hope that just more than anything, I just want to say thank you, because I'm extremely proud to be a part of this community, and I'm extremely proud to be a public school graduate, and I just hope that you just carry that pride too. And I think there's a lot that we have to share and to teach the country at this moment about pluralism and democracy and how to strengthen those ties. And so that's really all I wanted to say, other than just to thank you all and to thank Amy and to thank John Joseph, who truly, if you didn't catch this, what's happening in this building, I know he's putting the same amount of energy and love and care into every student that comes through this building as he did into me. And so, those relationships, this community, are more powerful than any big name, fancy school that you could possibly imagine. And I hope you're as proud as I am to be a part of it. Yeah.
We congratulate all 4 new and now official members of the White Plains High School Hall of Fame and express our thanks once again to our wonderful presenters. I'm pausing because of the words and the memories and the warmth and the pride we've heard here today. One, makes me pleased that we've been able to revive Hall of Fame. And 2, that you're all here to hear it. And 3, that it continues from those of us who have been at White Plains and White Plains High School for a lot of years and have seen it grow and remain. It's substantially wonderful place to live and to bring up our children and the schools to which we send them. So I thank you, everybody, for sharing those memories, those thoughts, and that pride, and I join you in that. I have to thank you. Thank you. I also want to say that many people contributed to the smooth running of this Hall of Fame Day, and they are recognized in your program. Principal Martinez, Hall of Fame, and I greatly appreciate the ever-available support of Assistant Principal Guy Vidiello and the wonderful cooperation of the very helpful school staff and the many students who participated in this day. And now it is my pleasure to introduce the Superintendent of White Plains Schools, Dr. Joseph Ricca. A vigorous advocate for White Plains, a skilled communicator, Dr. Ricca has built strong relationships with staff, parents, and just about all of our 7,000 students. And we are very pleased to welcome him to the 2024 Hall of Fame Day ceremony. Dr. Ricca.
Let's hear it for the Social Studies Department. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Joe Ricca. I can't be more proud. And on behalf of the Board of Education, everybody in the educational community, congratulations to all of our inductees. My goodness, I I always leave here with a little bit of a heavy heart because no matter what I do, I can never be in the Hall of Fame. But I do get to be sort of an adopted part of this amazing family, and I appreciate that very much. And I also get the benefit of being able to be in your presence and also share with you the good news that we're continuing to move and to push and to grow and to hopefully inspire, and you're doing that right now, our present students to continue to move out into the world and to serve. And that was a common theme that I heard from our honorees, really talking about the impact that you've made on the world, the joy that you brought, the inspiration that you brought, the eyes that you've opened, the leadership that you've applied, the way that you parent. My goodness, I love you in the morning and I love you at night. We should all, if there's nothing else we take away from this, we should say I love you more often. So, congratulations, and thank you for being an inspiration, and thank you for moving from White Plains and out into the world and showing other folks who might not know who we are, and also speaking to suppositions that oftentimes as you climb a ladder and you get higher up, there are some suppositions about where you came from, the schools you went to, the people you interacted with, and they're wrong. And I love when folks come back and tell us how wrong they are and how you're continuing to disrupt that ancient and hackneyed and trite thinking. That was for the English department. So on behalf of everybody here in White Plains, congratulations and thank you, and please keep coming back and keep sharing your stories because they're not finished. They never are, as long as we're blessed enough to have another chance tomorrow. And also, I must say, as I look around this room, thank you to all of the deep-rooted, yes, Mr. Wallach, I'm talking a little bit about you, the deep-rooted pride that we have in this community. It's inspirational, and frankly, it's spreading, and you should all be very proud of that. I know that I certainly am. I have another really, really important task. There are amazing refreshments that are going to be available in the foyer. Please stay for a little bit and enjoy. And I also need to, please, can you come here for 1 second? This young lady, and the committee, you trained me well. The committee and the work that goes into this process and then this celebration is immense. And frankly, there are a lot to choose from. And we have amazing graduates, and I'd like to thank you, Amy, and the committee, and everybody who helped to make this happen. Congratulations, and stay WP proud.